any case, you're doing a wonderful job of keeping the spirit of 1969 alive. I wish that every single batch tries to follow it. To do that, you might have to do some talking and selling and connecting with other friends. So please do that. Now, what am I going to talk about? Well, I had a Pilani 2.0. That was during 2004 and 2008. One of which years I spent physically 6 months in the Pilani guest house. The project that I got involved in was called Center for Desert Development Technologies. There were 3 streams to it. One was around water management, which is drip irrigation, rainwater harvesting, how to reuse water, rainwater recycling, and so forth. The second stream was around solar energy. And even though at that point people thought we were crazy, because remember I'm talking 2005, 2004 to 2008 time frame. Cost has since come down, but we did install some solar pumps, and there was a lot of awareness of solar energy that was developed at that time. The third stream was around biodiversity of the desert. And today, if you were to Google, simply Google in olive cultivation in India. And you'll be able to see photographs of olives that are growing in many areas of Rajasthan, including Jhunjhunu, Bikaner, Churu, many other districts. Last year, olive plantations covered about 1,000 hectares, which is not a lot, but still they produce also 100 tons of olive oil in Rajasthan. There is a Rajasthan Olive Oil Corporation Limited that expects this year to increase the area to 5,000 acres from about 1,000 acres. Now, that's kind of where this project has been. It's an interesting story as to how this project started. And I'm going to relate to you because it is kind of an example of what you are doing. You folks get together, you talk, have a good time, ideas come from there. Maybe somebody pushes, somebody sells it. I don't know how this giant batch, evergreen batch idea came across, but it's working very well. What happened to us was, in 2003, after I moved to Houston, I was on a trip to New York, and 3 of us were simply sitting away in a park. We were talking, the subject came up that the electrical engineering people, graduates of Gyani, had put in a wide area network in Gyani itself. So 3 of us, myself, Kushal Sacheti, Shiv Samal, who was the topper of our batch. Kushal Sacheti eventually ended up in the diamond business. All 3 of us were talking, and we said, well, we belong to the chemical batch, chemical engineering. We should do something. So what was that something? I said, well, before that, we figured out what is something. Tell me how much you have to play with. Like, if you record data. After some discussion, Hassan's each came up with a grand figure, a very small figure actually, $50,000 a piece. And they said, okay, let's figure out what we're going to do. So it happened around that time there was either a book or an article, it was excerpt I had read. The title of the article was Making the Deserts Bloom. And it talked about what had been done in the Negev desert in Israel. Coincidentally, so I said, okay, I'll do some research. Interestingly, in Houston, I met a friend through our own Vijay Reddy, named is Vicky Mohindra, who used to organize trips to India every year. And since he was also, his family was from Delhi, we would get together. And there was a young lady in this group who knew people, she was Jewish lady, still lives in Houston. And she got in touch with the Israeli connection to me. We're talking about how you make the deserts bloom, and I had already done a research to know that the best center for desert research is in Bengali University in Israel. So we went to Gyani, talked with them, said this is the seed capital. Which I would remember, we also had a golf tournament as we were launching this. Our Consul General in Houston, was very helpful. We went and somehow persuaded the people at Pennsylvania University that we went business. The comments they had made at the time was, well, when we've seen a lot of Indians who come through, nobody ever follows up. So I'm almost like obligated to do something. Fortunately, when we went to Gyani, L.K. Maheshwari was already the director of the institute. He had already known me when he was a graduate student when I was in Gyani. He was supportive, and we signed up with them that they will provide for every dollar, they would also chip in equivalent amount in terms of staff, the housing that was needed, the office space, etc., the land. And I do have a couple of brochures here that if you get a chance, you can look at what was started in 2005 and what we built in 2006. We did build some laboratories, we had a demonstration center, we started on the college journey. Now what happens on Olive is this interesting story. People in the beginning did not take us seriously. They thought it was not possible to have Olive in Rajasthan. And we had seen negative result and we said, no, the climate looks like exactly the same. So it so happened that in Kazri, the Central Arid Area, Central Arid Zone Research Institute people was also a young man who was very enthusiastic. They began to talk about olives and olive cultivation. Well, when we had gone to Israel, we had also decided to call on the Indian embassy as a courtesy to them. And Arun Kumar Singh, who is now the ambassador, our ambassador in Washington, he was at that time the ambassador of India to Israel. And he got fascinated. He said, are you going to write this up? I said, of course I'm going to write this up. It's part of the project. He said, send us a copy, please. After another couple of months go by, or maybe to a few weeks, then we get a call from the External Affairs Ministry asking me to fax this report back to them. We faxed it over and never heard back from them. I assumed that it was lost somewhere in the shuffle. But what I did not know that it was not lost in the shuffle. Next step was when I was in Delhi, we ran into Pratap Pawar, who is related to Sharad Pawar, nephew and so forth, and Sharad Pawar the extensive minister. So, of course, we have taken a copy of our brochures. We did the selling and pushed it. He may have dropped them off to Sharad Pawar, I do not know. Next thing we know, there was a visit by Sharad Pawar and Mr. Rajesh India, who is now the Rajasthan Chief Minister. She was the CM also at that point. And they went to Israel. They did a trip. And I do not know, but from there on, somehow between Kazri and Jaipur and the Agriculture Ministry and so on, the ownership got transferred and then began to do this thing while we were putting up a building the center in Milan. After 2008, I said I was getting pretty old. I had time to cut back on some of those things. But once you have sold the idea, somebody or the other will pick it up, will carry it on. It has carried on, and I do not know whether or not olive oil will be successful in India or not. But I do remember the lot of skeptics and soybean oil and sunflower oil were introduced in India during our time in the 60s and early 70s. Vanilla was never grown in India, now grows in Kerala. Cipra was never a state that grew rubber, not the leading rubber producing state. So, I'm not trying to tell you that this is a great success story, it's a very modest thing. But what I'm trying to tell you is, when groups like this get together, when you have some ideas, you've got some free time and energy, as I suspect you all, unless you're very young, you all must be approaching 70, even 70 in a few months. So either you are there or you are in your late 60s. Are you the time? You still feel infused? Do something? Nothing else? Keep this Limca record going. Because this is great. You all do it. There's nothing like old times, nothing like old memories, nothing like living together in a hostel for 5 years. I've made lots of friends in my life, but believe me, those that I made in the island, nothing like it. Absolutely nothing. So to you all,